Hello everybody, it's Lisa Brown again and Brown Eye Girls Crafting. This is one of those Hobby Lobby things that you can find always at the end of the season. They mark them down for the odd letters that is left. You'll always find some really odd numbers and letters on these, and they're usually pretty cheap, less than 75 cents a piece. So I went ahead and I painted the inside of it the Waverly White to get rid of that letter. And now we're just putting some painter's tape down all around the edges so that I don't get my white dirty with the paint that I'm going to put on the outside. I try to keep all my edges straight so that I don't let any of it seep in side on my white paint there. Once I get all my tape around and I'm making sure I've got it pretty close up to that black edge, I saw on one side I had a little bit of white showing. So I just picked another piece of tape up and just put it over the edge there. Now I'm painting some of that red chalk paint, and it's going to take 2 coats of this because the paint just really soaked into the frame. This is almost kind of like a raw wood frame, so it does soak up the paint. I ended up putting 2 coats on, and I cut out a lot of this so that you wouldn't have to watch me sit here and paint, because that was the longest part of the entire job. So once we get it all paint and we get it dry, like I said, I put 2 coats on it, and once we get it all dry, we're going to take off that painter's tape carefully so that we don't peel up our white chalk paint there. Making sure I go around that inner edge there because I could see just a little bit of black when I was drying it. So once we're all done doing all of this drying and all this painting, we're going to take the painter's tape off. And that top part there was just a little stickier than most, but I did get it off. And now we're going to use some decoupage glue from Pendark. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the double cardinals on here because it fit a little bit better and it has some greenery with it versus the other one was just a little bit too long. I wasn't going to be able to get all of his tail feathers on there. I just took my fingernail and I made a mark around the inside part of our frame there. And I'm going to carefully cut on my line. And sometimes that's easier said than done. I've got 3 paper cutters out in my van that I need to take one of those out and start using it. I need to take a little bit off the side there. There was just a little bit of a bow in the side of that paper where I didn't cut it straight. And that affected it from laying straight against that side. And then that top corner up there, I just had a problem with it, and the bottom corner. So I trimmed off a little on each side and up one side. And now it's going to fit perfectly in our frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some decoupage glue down, and I'm going to put a fairly thick coat. This is more like decoupage paper. It's kind of a rice paper, but this really feels more like a decoupage paper, and it's a little bit thicker than a rice paper. So once I get this down and I have a good coat, we're going to lay down our decoupage paper with these 2 really pretty cardinals on it. And I did get this from Decoupage Queen last year. I know a lot of these different places, Decoupage Central just put on a lot of Christmas rice paper, and I'm sure some of these other companies did as well. I'm going to go ahead and lay my iron down and make sure I get the point up in each corner and around the edges there. And I did go to all 4 corners even though I didn't show it in the video. Now we're just putting some matte varnish on top. And I put a fairly thick coat because I want to make sure this is good and sealed up. Hey everybody, if you could please watch at least 3 minutes of this video and help me out, I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys all later today. Goodbye everybody.